Nature inspires us,
Oh.
and we embrace the serenity it brings into our lives.
Oh, yoga is so good for the mind, body, and soul.
Solid and reassuring, trees are wondrous. They touch our souls. And sometimes we just have to hug them back. It's wonderful to be living in a green world. There are so many good things that are green. Like green trees, green grass, green vegetables, and even green cars. Celery may not be the tastiest vegetable, but like eco-friendly cars, it's good for us. But sometimes you just need to rebel. Most hybrids are like vegetables, pretty bland. But there's one out there that's pretty sweet. Let's go take a look at the 2015 Porsche Panamera S eHybrid. I think you're going to like this one. You're going to like it a lot. The Panamera has always silenced the naysayers, ever since it came out in 2010. And now you can get one as a 6-cylinder, an 8-cylinder, a turbocharged version. And each of those variants can be upgraded to an S, GTS, all-wheel drive, or even executive stretch version. So whomever the buyer, there's a Panamera for them. But now there's an 11th model, and it's for that new segment of buyer, the one who wants their cake and vegetables too, who wants performance in an eco-friendly car. It's called the Panamera S eHybrid, and it's instantly recognizable with all of these acid green accents that are subtle but obnoxious enough to say, hey, look at me, I'm special. You'll find them on all the exterior badges of the car as well as the brake calipers, and they've brought this favorite color of graffiti artists into the gauge cluster, as it's on all the needles of the gauges inside the car. And the price point, well, it falls smack dab in the Panamera lineup at $99,000. More than a 6-cylinder, but less than a GTS or turbo. And for all this car delivers, some would say that's a relative bargain in the Panamera lineup. And it comes with a tax incentive of $4,752. But that's given at the time of purchase, off the price of the car. It's not rebated to you in the future in some IRS accountant math that only they understand. So why buy this eHybrid? Why buy a Porsche? Well, the very nature of hybrid technology has a lot of engineering behind it. And if there's anybody I trust for engineering, it's Porsche. Also, I like the fact that Porsche is very reliable, luxurious, and performance-minded. And let's not forget, there's a huge dealer network behind you when you buy a Porsche. So how does all this technology work? Well, to the driver, it's quite invisible. It's just like any other car. You start it up, it's very, very quiet. That's all you have to do. Put it in gear and go. So right now the car is in full electric mode. I can go approximately 22 miles on full electricity alone, up to 83 miles per hour. And if I stay in those parameters, all I do is just drive. That's it. It's pretty simple. It's like driving a normal car. Now you have a gauge over here. Think of it as sort of like your RPM gauge. It's called efficiency. And as long as I keep my needle inside of efficiency, I will never turn on the combustion engine unless I want it to turn on and I need that extra boost of power. I push down the accelerator like I normally would, and there's the gas motor, just kicks in for me. And I've got the full disposal of all 416 horses available. Just let off the accelerator. The RPM gauge goes back to 0, indicating that I'm on full electricity, or what Porsche calls e-power mode. And And when I'm coasting, the car is automatically regenerating energy back into the battery. Same thing happens when I brake. But here's one unique thing about Porsche that's giving you some sensory feedback that other electric or hybrid cars don't do. This has an 8-speed transmission. All other electric cars have a 1-speed transmission. So as I'm driving along, I can still feel it shift. But what about sport mode? How does that work? Well, you simply hit sport, the combustion motor comes on, and I'm driving the car like a conventional vehicle with a full gas motor. Well, here in the Porsche, you get the best of both worlds. I can be pure electric or I can be on gas. Now, I think that's really important because of something called zero range anxiety. If I'm driving a fully electric vehicle, even if it has a huge range, what happens when that range does eventually run out and I can't find a place to charge it? I'm going to be continually thinking of how to plan my journey around public filling stations. Well, here, switch over to sport, and now I have 25 miles to the gallon in a 4,800 pound car, which is pretty impressive alone. That's approximately a 500-mile range. They've chosen to do the hybrid technology this way. Other manufacturers have chosen maybe go all electric or use a gas combustion engine simply to charge the electric battery. But Porsche's chosen to give you the best of both worlds. I can be pure electric or I can be on gas. But when you do run out of gas and electricity, how do you recharge the battery? Well, that's pretty simple too. Porsche's installed what they call eCharge. The simple push of a button, eCharge will use the gas combustion engine as a generator to recharge the batteries. It takes about 40 miles of driving to fully recharge the battery, and then you can switch over to the electric motor. Well, other ways to charge it would be at an e-filling station. These are publicly available at shopping malls and office parks, these sorts of places. So a lot of people use the car to commute. It goes 15 to 22 miles to work, charge it up, and then 15 to 22 back home. So you have a 30 to 44 mile range essentially in a single day. A lot of people will use the gas on the highway and then use the electric in the city. And when you buy a Panamera S eHybrid, it comes with its own charging station. And you can even opt to get this dock. It's kind of like your own filling station at home, and it's been created by Porsche Design. You take the unit and plug it in just like you would at a filling station. Snaps into place, it's very secure, it's ready to go. And if you ever go on the road with your Panamera, you can actually take that charging equipment with you because it breaks down into a remote unit. You can throw it in the back of the car and it's with you when you get to your destination. So Porsche's made it actually quite simple. And you don't actually have to hold it. It just is kind of a force of habit. It'll take about 2.5 hours, so I think I'll leave it. Be ready for you in the morning. It's a great car, you should try it out.